Good morning, Ohio. James Lewis of the Grueling Truth Radio Network here with Bhupen Patel. He is the designer of Koolbots' new game, StrikeZone. Bhupen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So we're all excited. Who is Koolbots?
Koolbots is a startup company that my brother and I formed in 2008, right, with the focus primarily on building the next generation of tabletop games. We've been doing this for 2 years now, right? And when we created this company, we had one core objective in mind, and that was to redefine the tabletop gaming by merging the world of board games and sports together into much more fun and accessible format that feels much more epic in both size and insanely fun, no matter how many times you play it. Right? And so that was kind of our core game because if you look at one of the key factors we wanted to ensure was to make sure the repeat value of the games should not diminish over time. And just if you go out to play baseball or any other sports for that matter, it's equally fun. Whether you do it first time or you play it 100 times, it's equal fun. And so it should be the same with tabletop games as well.
Exactly.
And so for us, that was one of the key things.
And after seeing videos of your product, that just looks like such a fun activity, something fun for the entire family, I would say.
Very true. Yeah, that was one of the things out there. That's one of the key ingredients, I guess, is if you're having this fun, especially any of the sports games, it's not a game of one. Right? You want to have your sibling, your family, your friends, you play together, right? And you want to kind of keep doing it. It's not like you want to play it for 1 or 2 and you get bored. It's not going to happen. And that's something we want to do with the tabletop games as well. It's make that as a repeat value, right? And something that you can play again and again and just have the same amount of fun.
Sounds great. So how did Koolbots get started?
So the core idea came a while back. And in fact, when I was much younger, right, and then my brother and I were growing up back in India, we both were massive cricket fans. And India, cricket is one thing over there. It's kind of very similar in terms of game, but that's something we used to play over there. And then we always longed to bring that experience that we used to play outside when we came back into home, right? No matter it's day or night, right, rain or shine, but we always wanted to keep playing and experiencing and exploring new strategies, right? And so the desire was shelved for few decades, right, until both of us came over here, and then we started our families here in Silicon Valley. And so more recently, we were remotivated to create this game so that we could play with our kids, right? And they have been born and raised in the U.S., and obviously they are baseball and basketball fans. And so for us, living here for a while now, what we want to do is we want to combine our kind of love for cricket with our children's love for baseball and kind of come up with these tabletop games. And that's how this started, right? And we came up with these 2 games, the StrikeZone for baseball and then State Drive for cricket.
Awesome. So how was it played?
So if you look at the game, it's very, very similar to what you would play like a real baseball. The gameplay, everything is very similar, right? And so it's the same thing. You have your fielders, you place them strategically right, on the field. If the batter hits the ball, if it touches the fielder directly, it's a catch. If you hit the ball and if it hits the ground first and then the fielder, then obviously it's a single, right? And if you need double or triple, you have to make sure that the ball goes past the zones that are marked 2 and 3. And so what we have is a 5 feet by 5 feet baseball diamond, and this is kind of set up everything on top of it. As a pitcher, you can throw fastball, you can throw breaking balls, right? And so it creates or kind of simulates that complete environment of a real baseball game. But think of it as a home stadium set up on top of your table.
Awesome. I was going to say it's a nice big stadium. The fielders looked really amazing. So how many people can play per team?
So minimum you need 2 players for this one, but there's no kind of upper limit to it. You can have 2 players, you can have 4, you can add 9 players. That doesn't matter. You could, as long as you have 2 players, you will have same amount of fun.
Do you have an app?
Oh, yes, we do. So one thing for us was very important. Something we noticed when we used to play as kid was having that way to track the score made that game much more fun and competitive. So what we did is we came up with a mobile scoreboard app that players can use as they are playing this game, and that they can use that to track their statistics, right? Kind of manage all the scores throughout the game, and then come back to the game in future and look at the memories. So yes, we do an app, and I think that's a very critical part of this game.
So what is a cool shot?
Yeah, so that's actually cool hits. The shots came from the jargon of cricket, right? But typically it's a cool hits, and there's a bit of story behind this. So one of the things that we noticed is when we showed the videos to a lot of people out there, some of the comments we started getting was, how is the ball kind of flying over? Is it an SNL video that we are looking at, or is it ball was stringed together to make it fly that accurately from picture? And so one thing that we actually did is we spent quite a bit of time to calibrate and make sure that the pitcher mechanism is very accurate. So every time you pitch a ball, it's 8 or 9 out of 10 times it should land into the strike zone. So that was very critical for us. So what we did was a lot of people, when they looked at it, they felt that this is not real, right? And they kind of started thinking, is it something staged or some kind of string that makes sure the ball accurately lands on the other side, right? And when we saw many of those questions, and then questions like, how do I hit single here? Can it be only home runs and strike, or can I do more, right? And so when I started getting a lot of these questions, we came up with this video which shows different hits being played, whether it's singles, doubles, triples, home run, bunt the ball. And so the idea was to kind of create this cool hit so that people can look at it and see for themselves that these are the different things you could do. It's just like real baseball in a simulated environment.
Now, of course, the game by itself is amazing, the original edition. But what is the difference between the original edition and the collector's edition?
Cool. So when we started, we came up with the original edition, which has got all the 5x5 feet field and all the players and everything. But then as we started sharing with a few other folks out there, they came up with some of the ideas where they suggested that what if we made the game and take it a notch level up, right? And we raised the fence so that you have to hit the home run above that, right? It should be make that game more competitive, right? So what we did is we basically added what we call as the blue monster, and obviously you know where the name comes from, but effectively what the idea was to kind of take the game to a level up, right, and kind of create that more fun for everyone. And then we also added the ability to kind of add different color caps, because that was one of the requests coming from a lot of people saying, can I pick my team color cap? And so we basically, in the stadium edition is what we call it as, instead of collectors, that we rebranded that. And we basically make sure that we provide some of these additional features that came as a request to us. And so we created a new edition primarily to handle that.
Awesome. And then, of course, earlier you mentioned there's two versions of the game. There's the Strike Zone and the Straight Drive. What are the differences between Strike Zone and Straight Drive?
Yeah, so Strike Zone is primarily for baseball lovers, right? And that's the game we are focused on building on right now. Straight Drive is something that we plan to launch that in future. It's going to be focused primarily for the cricket fans.
Sounds awesome. I was going to say it's always good to have variety in the games and something unique there. That looks really cool.
Awesome, thank you.
What are people saying about the game?
So, I mean, we have been lucky, I guess. We've been having some really stellar reviews from everybody that we have actually had them test the game, play the game, and then people who have looked at it as well, right? And so just to give you an example, what we did is very early on when we had the game, we set it up on our home. We had 14 of my kids' friends come in, and we just let them play. It was his birthday, so we didn't say anything. We just had the game over there and played, and you could see them 3 hours nonstop playing. Right? And then that was kind of very refreshing for us, and the kind of response we had was amazing. as we kind of shared across with different groups, just so they can test it in different families, they have had very positive response. And we could see that they wanted to keep playing it longer, which for us was a very important test to see. That something, if people play, should not get bored in 5 to 10 minutes, but something that should be fun for them every time they play.
Excellent. Now, when will it be available? Do we have a date yet?
So we launched it on Kickstarter on April 28th, and we got funded, 100% funded in first hour since we launched on Kickstarter. And on day one, we got funded 200% of it. So this is second day right now with on Kickstarter we have. So anybody who's interested right now can go to Kickstarter, and they should be able to pre-order the game over there. We plan to start shipping it in December.
That is awesome. It sounds like a perfect Christmas present, and something fun to do around the house, and something great to do with the family. I mean, I was going to say, nowadays, unfortunately, everybody's looking at screens, and it seems like this is one way to bring the family back together.
Very true. In fact, that's something we got a feedback from a lot of parents. One of the parents, we recently showed them, and she mentioned the same thing, that, okay, first time I could see my teenager who's not distracted by a screen, and he's been playing throughout for an hour on this one. So she was pretty excited about that as well. So I think the comments you're making resonates with so many people, that this is a kind of more refreshing way for us to play together without us all looking at the screen. I mean, nothing wrong in it. It's just that it's an additional option you have now.
That is awesome. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web should they check you out at?
So you could, if you check it, basically, recently, you could always go to Kickstarter website and search for StrikeZone. Or you basically can go to our company website at Koolbots.com, Koolbots, KOOLBOTS.com, and you should see the game there as well.
Sounds great. We want our fans to check that out, and definitely between now and December, because that's going to make a wonderful Christmas present. Thank you, and we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks a lot. I'm glad to have you.